नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री द्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So we're doing text 7 today. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Atastam eko bhutanam Sheshwaranam Adhishvara Shasta Dandadharo Nranam Shubha Shubha Vichena Vivechana. The Supreme Judge must be one, not many. It was our understanding that you are the Supreme Judge and that you have jurisdiction even over the demigods. Our impression was that you are the master of all living entities, the supreme authority who discriminates between the pious and impious activities of all human beings. Tasyate vihito dando na loke vartate adhuna chaturbhir abhutay siddhair agyate vipralambhita. Yeah. Someone like to read? Yes.
Hare Krishna. Translation for progressive. Mary?
Yes, true. Yes, please.
Translation for progressive Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. But now we see that the punishment obtained under your authority is no longer effective. Since your order has been transgressed by 4 wonderful and perfect persons. But what? The Yamdutas had been under the impression that Yamraj was the only person in charge of the administrative district. They are fully confident that no one could counteract his judgment. But now, to their surprise, his orders had been violated by the 4 wonderful persons from Siddhaloka. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. See, now you're seeing that Yamdutas are actually in ignorance because they have no other knowledge. Like they have no knowledge. They're just like their interest is only in punishing others. They don't even know that there could be a higher authority over Yamraj. So you see, this is how ignorance actually works. Even we think, that our own ability is actually better. Like we may laugh at Yamdutas here, but our own condition is no better. At least Yamdutas have surrendered to Yamraj. And that's why they will also receive proper transcendental knowledge. But we don't even surrender properly. We think, here they are relying on Yamraj. We are relying on our own abilities. And therefore we are miserable. So the only enlightened soul is someone who surrenders to Krishna. Text 9. Niyamanam tavadeshat.
Hare Krishna. May I ask one question?
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, I want to know, who are the Lokpals?
Lopats?
Lokpal.
Lokpal.
Lokpal, yeah, this is some reference that they are something between demigods and Maharishis, etc. They are 4 or 5 Lokpal. Who are the Lokpal?
Yeah. Different levels of authorities. Different levels of authorities.
That means they are over this 12 Mahajans and they are under the gods and all. Is that right?
Yeah, see, for example, you see Lokapala, like those who are administering different aspects of the universe. Like Surya Dev is controlling the health. So like this, there are different kinds of demigods, different kinds of authorities within the universe. Actually, there are myriads of authorities. The universe is not like they're independently working. myriads of authorities are acting under the instruction of the Supreme Lord to conduct this universe.
Okay. Those who are designated like sun and moon or all that, they are then called Lokpa. My understanding. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. Niyamanam tavadeshat
Niyamanam
Niyamanam tavadeshat
asmabhir yatana grahan
asmabhir yatana grihan
vyamochayan patakinam
vyamochayan patakinam
hitva pashan prasahyate.
chitva pashan prasayyate.
Okay, we were bringing the most. Yeah, okay, you can read.
Thank you, Tony. Translation. We were bringing the most sinful Ajamil toward the hellish planets following your order, when those beautiful persons from Siddhalok forcibly cut the knots of the ropes with which we were arresting them. Purport. Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur remarks that the Yamadutas wanted to bring the Vishnudutas before Yamaraj. If Yamaraj could then have punished the Vishnudutas, the Yamadutas would have been satisfied. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. So you see their mentality. Like they are seeing divine personalities and they are still envious. So, like Yamdutas are not the kind of personalities you would like to associate with. Yeah. Tamste veditum ichhamo
Amste veditum ichhamo
yadi no manyase kshamam
yadi no manyase kshamam
narayanetye abhihite
narayane abhihite
ma bhair itya ayuyur drutam.
ma ityayur drutam.
Yeah. Yes, please.
Translation proper, there is divine grace from Prabhupada. Translation. As soon as the sinful Ajamila uttered the name Narayana, these four beautiful men immediately arrived and reassured him, saying, Do not fear, do not fear. We wish to know about them from your Lordship. If you think we are able to understand them, kindly describe who they are. Perfect. The order carriers of Yamaraja, being very much aggrieved because of their defeat by the four Vishnudutas, wanted to bring them before Yamaraja and, if possible, punish them. Otherwise, they decided to commit suicide. Before pursuing either course, however, they wanted to know about the Vishnudutas from Yamaraj, who is also omniscient. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can see the level of envy in their hearts, that they are almost ready to commit suicide out of their envy. They've considered it so, like their ego is so strong. They are feeling so much, humiliation at the hand of Yamadutas that they're ready to give up their bodies even. So you see, the greater the ignorance, the more there is suffering actually. Passion and ignorance means suffering. Like Prabhupada says, Sattva means happiness, Rajoguna, passion, means misery, and ignorance, Tamoguna, means madness. Shri Badarayanir Uvacha.
Vadarani uvacha
Iti Deva sa aprishta
iti deva aprishta
Praja Samya Mano Yama.
praja samyamano
Pritaha Swadutan Pratyah
प्रीतः स्वदूतान्
प्रत्याह
Smaran Padambujam Hare.
स्मरन्
पादाम्बुजं हरे.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna,
Would you like to
Prabhu.
read?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, please.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu. May I?
Yeah, please.
Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, thus having been questioned, Lord Yamaraj, the supreme controller of the living entities, was very pleased with the order carriers because of hearing from them the holy name of Narayana. He remembered the lotus feet of the Lord and began to reply. Srila Yamaraj, the supreme controller of the living entities in terms of their pious and impious activities, was very pleased with his servant because they had chanted the holy name of Narayan in his dominion. Yamaraj has to deal with the men who are all sinful, who can hardly understand Narayan. Consequently, when his order carriers uttered the name of Narayan, he was extremely pleased, for he also is a Vaishnava. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hmm. See, Lord, so you can see the position of Yamraj actually. Living in a lower planet, and he has to deal with sinners only. Hardly, actually, no pious soul goes in front of Yamraj. So he doesn't get to hear the holy names of the Lord being chanted. Actually, according to Garuda Purana, pious people also see the Yamraj. But devotees never, because I mean, as we see at the end of this pastime, devotees never get to see Yamraj. So Yamraj consequently never gets to associate with Vaishnavas. So he feels extremely unhappy that all the time he's just dealing with piety and sin. But when his own servants uttered the name of Narayan, he felt very happy. Yama Uvacha.
Yeah.
Paro madanyo jagatas
Paro
Om
Madanyo Jagatasya
Protam Protam Patavad Yatra Vishwam.
Otam Protam Patavad Yatra Vishwam.
Vishwam.
Yad Amshatosya Sthiti Janmanasha.
Yadam Shatosya
Satosya Sthiti
Sthiti
Janmanasa.
Nisya Otavad Yasya Vashecha Loka.
Yasya
Otavat Yasya
Vashecha
Vashecha Loka.
Mary
Hare Krishna. Can I read, bro?
Yes, please.
Haribol, Hare Krishna. Translation.
Yes.
Yamraja said,
Yes.
My dear servants, you have accepted me as the supreme, but factually I am not. Above me and above all other demigods, including Indra and Chandra, is the one supreme master and controller. The partial manifestations of his personality are Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, who are in charge of the creation, maintenance, and annihilation of this universe. He is like the two threads that form the length and the breadth of a woven cloth. The entire world is controlled by him, just as a bull is controlled by a rope in its nose. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The order carriers of Yamaraja suspected that there was a ruler even above Yamaraja. To eradicate their doubts, Yamaraja immediately replied, Yes, there is one supreme controller above everything. Yamaraja is in charge of some of the moving living entities, namely the human beings, but the animals who also move are not under his control. Only human beings have consciousness of right and wrong, and among them only those who perform sinful activities come under the control of Yamaraj. Therefore, although Yamaraj is a controller, he is only a departmental controller of a few living entities. There are other demigods who control many other departments, but above them all is one supreme controller, Krishna. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. The supreme controller is Krishna. Others who control their own departments in the affairs of the universe are insignificant in comparison to Krishna, the supreme controller. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 7.7, Mata Paratram Nanyat Kinchid Asti Dhananjaya. My dear Dhananjaya, Arjuna, no one is superior to me. Therefore, Yamraja immediately cleared away the doubts of his assistants, the Yamadutas, by confirming that there is a supreme controller above all the others. Srila Madhvacharya explains that the words Otam Protam refer to the cause of all the causes. The Supreme Lord is both vertical and horizontal to the cosmic manifestation. This is confirmed by the following verse from the Skanda Purana. Yata Kanta Pata Sutra Otha Protaschasa Stitha Evam Vishnava Idham Vishwam Otam Protam Cha Samastitam. Like the two threads, horizontal and vertical, of which a quilt is manufactured, Lord Vishnu is situated as the vertical and the horizontal cause of the cosmic manifestation. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Now, naturally, one question comes to our mind, then what is the dominion of each demigod? What is Yamraj controlling? In the previous verse, we saw that Yamraj has authority even over demigods. Then now again here we are seeing that other demigods have authority. There are many controllers. So what is the reality? So try to understand it this way. It's really quite simple. Krishna controls the breadth and length of this whole universe. And how does he do that? Through the agency of demigods. Now, for example, the railway department is headed by the railway minister, and electricity department is headed by the energy minister. Now, railways need energy to run. Energy minister has no control over how railways are run. But if he doesn't supply energy, the trains won't move. Or if the railway minister says no transport will move, the energy minister will not get any coal to run the power plants. Both have authority over each other. Their authorities are overlapping. At the same time, they are independent. The energy minister has no say on how railways should be run, and railway minister has no authority over how energy should be supplied. Their authorities overlap each other, but they do not overrule each other. So just like that, like for example, if Varuna, if Vayu stops the flow, then all the people of the universe will die, even in Yamlok. Consequently, if there is some sinner, then Vayu, Indra, Chandra have no dominion to protect them. Then Yamraj has absolute authority over people's karma. So in this way, different demigods work, in accordance to Lord's will, in cooperation with each other. Demons, on the other hand, are very intelligent and qualified also, but they are selfish. Therefore, they should never be made in charge of the departments of the universe, and therefore the Lord always incarnates when they become too powerful and destroys them. However, the Supreme Lord Krishna, he remains the supreme controller under all circumstances. If there is no living entity qualified to be a demigod, Krishna personally incarnates as that demigod. Hare Krishna. There's any questions or comments here?
I have two questions.
Yes, please.
One thing out of this text is that Yamraj is in charge of all moving entities, but human beings. But the animals who also move are not under his control. Then who's controlling the animals?
I didn't understand.
He said the animals are not
Please
under
repeat
his
the question.
control. I repeat, Prabhu. This is at the fourth line on top. When the Yamraj is flying. Yes, there is no one supreme controller above
this one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Animals who also move are not under his control. Yes, because animals have no karma.
How they die and speak birth.
Yes. Yeah, so like a tiger cannot be approached by Yamdutas. Tiger will die and simply move onwards. His birth is preordained. Lord Yamraj has no dominion over his karma.
But it also has got a soul.
Probably the souls taking these bodies, then there will be a separate demigod who will be governing them.
Yeah, there will be, because they're moving from one body to another. So, for example, the living entity dies, then it becomes it goes to the rain clouds, it enters into raindrops, fall to the ground, they become grains and other nourishing things. Then they enter the semina of the father. From there, they enter into the womb of the mother. So this process is not conducted by Yamaraj.
But the semina and all these things is applicable in the case of animals also.
Yes. So, yeah, but karma for the animals is preordained. They are not independent. Human beings are independent. Therefore, there is a regulatory authority.
My only point was that I want to know the animals. So what you said, I understood. That I agree, quite agree. That what happens to them? Now the animal not responsible for his action. It's doing because of nature. What happens to it after that? Then who controls
it? Just takes another body. Like all species of dog, all species of cats, all species of elephants.
But whose body? That will decide it best. Because after, suppose somebody dog, they will go to a better body. Or some other body. Who decides that?
A better body. After he has fulfilled the karma of a dog, he'll take the body of some other animal, slightly more evolved animal.
But this is probably whether he decided or it's automatic.
Automatic.
That means
That's
the cat
why
will
it's so dangerous to fall into animal life.
Okay. Right. Okay,
Then
second
there's no
question.
shortcut out of it.
My second doubt is who can grant a liberation?
Who can grant liberation?
Huh.
Lord.
And I-
Lord can grant,
I-
and Vaishnavas can grant liberation.
But I thought the mukti can be provided only by Vishnu, and no other god is
Yes.
permitted to give mukti.
Yes.
Other things can be provided by that, but not the mukti. Am I right?
Actually, Vishnu and Vaishnavas, they can grant mukti because Vaishnava is channelizing Lord Vishnu's energy, so he can also deliver. Like someone like Acharya, they can simply deliver all living entities.
Mhm. Because some participants were very insistent that the Shiva can provide mukti. Now taking your
No, Lord
interpretation,
Shiva doesn't give liberation.
but Shiva is also Vaishnava, that means. What you said,
Yeah.
I'm taking the note from that. He may
So Lord Shiva, yes, Lord Shiva okay, will not grant, but as Vaishnava he can grant, like as Acharya
Exactly.
or
Exactly.
Rudra Sampradaya he can grant liberation.
There is Brahmaji also, he is also Vaishnava. But he can do
Yes.
because there are many places that I can't provide liberation or in the Amar kiसी को नहीं कर सकता. Brahmaji के को बोला.
So he will not give a boon of liberation like that.
हाँ,
But someone who follows in his footsteps and becomes a Vaishnava, then he can deliver very easily. So that's why Lord Shiva has this kind of a split personality, we can say.
yeah. Thank you, Guruji. I got the point.
Yeah. Hari Bol. Krishna, with his mercy, has an incarnation in each species of life. Okay. So the question is, then say there is a fish, then fish species also no. See, animals don't really have that evolved sense of emotion that human beings have. So animals cannot really go into bhav or anything. Animals can't do sadhana or anything. The Lord in various animal species delivers them gradually. Like even here, when Mahaprabhu also came, he just chanted in front of the crowds. He discussed Bhagavatam with his disciples and he discussed Rasila with his associates. So even Mahaprabhu discriminated when he was preaching in that sense. That he was not sitting and talking about intricacies of Shuddha Bhakti in front of general masses of people. He just chanted Harinam. So even in human beings, there are 400,000 species of life. So these 400,000 species are in various gradations of consciousness. For example, like even in human beings, there are different types of bodies. Aboriginal, then there is Brahmana. So these kind of bodies, they have different levels of ability to accept spiritual life. So what to speak of animals? So animals are absolutely degraded. They have no consciousness, like practically to speak of. So they are very gradually elevated by the Lord. And that's how they evolve spiritually. But very, very gradual evolution of reduction in tamoguna, rajoguna until they reach the stage of human being, which is actually a passionate incarnation. Hare Krishna. Yes, so we take this next verse is very big one actually. Yeah. Yo namabhirvachi janam nijayam
You know,
janan rayam
badnati tantrayam iva damabhir gah.
badnati tantrayam iva dambhirga
Yasmay balim ta ime nama karma
yasmai valimta imenama karma
nibandha baddash chakita vahanti.
nibandhavadhas chakita
Very cool.
Yes, please.
Hare Krishna, Vajjan Vatana. Translation for Professor Sri Prabhat teacher. Translation. Just as driver of the cart ties rope through the nostrils of the bull to control them, the Supreme Person recorded binds all men through the ropes of his word in the Vedas, which set forth the names and activities of the distinct orders of human society. Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. In fear, the members of these orders will worship the Supreme Lord by offering him presentations according to their respective activities. But in this material world, everyone is conditioned, regardless of who he is. One may be a human being, a demigod, or an animal, tree or plant, but everything is controlled by the laws of nature. And behind this natural control is Supreme Personality Godhead. This is confirmed by Bhagavad Gita 9.10, when Krishna says, Maya Yakti, then persistence is there, the Charakara. The material nature is working and living, direct control, and producing all moving and non-moving beings. There's Krishna is behind the natural machine, which works under its control. Apart from other living entities, the living being in the human form body is systematically controlled by the Vedic injunction in terms of the divisions of varnas and ashrams. A human being is expected to follow the rules and regulations of varnas and ashrams. Otherwise, he cannot escape punishment of Yamraj. This point is that every human being is expected to elevate himself in the position of Brahman, the most intelligent man, and then one must answer the position to become a Vaishnava. This is the perfection of life. Brahma, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra can elevate themselves by worshipping the Lord according to their activities. Te seva harmony, abhivate samatidam, lavute nara. The division of Varna and Ashram are necessary to ensure the proper execution of duties and peaceful existence of everyone. But everyone is directed to worship the Supreme Lord, who is all pervading. Yana sarvam idam itatam. The Supreme Lord exists vertically and horizontally. Atma, Aparmatma. And therefore, if one follow the Vedic injunctions by worshipping the Supreme Lord according to the ability of his life, will be fulfilled. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2513. Ataha Vambe Diji Satya Varnajam Vivagishti Savas Distati Dharmashi Samadhiri Haritosama. O best among the twice born, it is therefore concluded that the highest perfection one can achieve by discharging his prescribed duties, dharma, according to his cost, divisions, and orders of life, is to please the Lord. The Varnashram institution offered the perfect process for making one eligible to return home back to Godhead, because the aim of every Varna and ashram is to please the Supreme Lord. One can please the Lord under the direction of a bona fide spiritual master. And if one does so, his life is perfect. The Supreme Lord is worshipable, and everyone worships him directly or indirectly. Those who worship him directly get the results of a liberation quickly, where the liberation to those who serve him indirectly is delayed. The words Nambihar, Vachi are very important. In the Varnashrama, in Q, there are different names: Brahmins, Satya, Vaishya, Sudra, Brahmachari, Grasta, Vansprastha, and Sannyas. The work of Vedic injunctions give directions for all these divisions. Everyone is expected to offer obeisances to Supreme Lord and perform duties as indicated in the Veda. Hare Krishna, Parijatan. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much. See, The Lord is directing, in Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, Ishvara sarva bhutanam hrideshe arjuna tishtati brahmami sarva bhutani yantrarudhani mayaya. The Supreme Lord seated as Paramatma within the heart of the living entities is actually directing the wanderings of all living entities. The Supreme Lord is like a gigantic, infinite air traffic control. He's like a gigantic traffic control. He's guiding the movements of all the living entities, fulfilling their desires in such a manner that they do not intersect with each other. And the order of the universe is also maintained. Someone whose karma is to be killed will be presented in front of someone whose desire is to kill. In this way, the karmas will be fulfilled and the living entities will be satisfied. And of course, they will suffer. This is the way the Supreme Lord conducts the whole universe. In between, those species of living entities who are known as human beings are guided by the Vedas. So, those living entities, they are meant to be guided by the instructions of the Lord directly. If they stray from those instructions, then they have to see Yamraj. So there's a verse in Bhagavatam, actually, the first canto, it's a second chapter only says, Dharma swanishtita pumsham vishvaksena kathasuya. So you see here, Prabhupada is writing, the point is that every human being is expected to elevate himself to the position of a Brahmana, the most intelligent man. And then one must transcend that position to become a Vaishnava. So what is Brahmana? Brahma janat iti Brahmana. Ignorance means Shudra. Ignorance and passion means Vaishya. Passion means Kshatriya. And goodness means Brahmana. So at least one must quit this body by becoming a Brahmana. But perfection will be achieved when one transcends the position of Brahmana from Sattva to Shuddha Sattva and becomes a Vaishnava. So in this regard only, Srila Vyasadeva says, Dharma swanishtita pumsham vishvaksena kathasuya notpadayad yadiratim sham evahi kevalam. So if one practices all the rules and regulations of Vedas, but somehow or the other is unable to appreciate the position of the Supreme Lord and develop love for him, sham evahi kevalam, that's useless labor. Like a donkey carries tons of bricks every day, and in the end he just gets some grass, which he could have attained anyway without labor. So if one simply lives to eat, sleep, mate, and defend, then he's no better than an animal. Because animals can also do it. Animals don't have to study engineering or medicine to just have sex or eat some food or just sleep or have a residence. No, they don't have to do any of that. Dogs and cats are happy. You won't find dogs and cats having heart attacks or diabetes or stuff like that. They don't have stress. You won't see a bald monkey or a bald bear, but you'll see lots of bald men with diabetes and so many problems. So unnecessary, shama eva hi kevalam. Because the purpose of dharma is to develop love for God. Dharmasya hi apavargasya. Srila Prabhupada says dharma means to get rid of material bondage. Dharmasya apavargasya na artho arthayo kalpate. It's not meant for eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Na arthasya dharma ekantasya kamo labhaya hi smritah. So if you have some wealth or something, that's meant to serve the Supreme Lord. That's not meant to enjoy senses. So in this way, Bhagavatam is explaining, like Srila Prabhupada is explaining the same point from various directions so that people will understand. So if someone listens to so many instructions and yet does not understand and still goes on acting in a materialistic manner, then he has to see Yamraj. Okay, Hare Krishna. Yes, any questions or comments here? Okay, then we stop. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam.
Thank you. Dandavat pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.